Welcome back. So, yeah, before we went for a break, very pertinent question about the fever posed by Pooja, that how to understand the so-called infection in terms of fever. So, basically, what we need to understand at the first step is the fever needs a lot of energy. Fever cannot happen if somebody is running out of energy. Why? Because this is a simple understanding of energy. This 50 kg or 60 kg of weight is raised by 1 degree centigrade temperature, suppose. And that's a huge energy that is needed. Are you able to comprehend this?
Yes, sir.
So, if it is so, then it is an energy in operation within the body at the first place. And why? Because it is facilitating some kind of elimination, because experience of fever comes with a foul breathing smell is very foul, and urine color is very dark, perspiration is very smelly. So all these eliminations are enhanced. That is very experiential and we all can relate to it. So it's a very simple use of energy to eliminate the extra toxin that are there within the body. Now, coming to the understanding of infection, whatsoever the name we may end up calling it, dengue, malaria, or swine flu, or corona, whatsoever it may be, it's basically some organism are infesting the body. That means some organism which are micro in nature, microorganisms, are coming to the body and breeding there and taking over, as if we end up calling it attacks also at times. Now, the simple fact, if we look at this, is very meticulous thing. Like why an organism will go to a place. We are also organism. If we are going to some places, we actually confirm that particular place as a conducive place. That means at least the food provisions must be there. If there is no food, we are not interested to go there, because that's a basis of our survival. So any organisms, if it is coming, then it must have its food available in that particular environment. That is what is the conducive environment. Now, if that food is our toxin, then those pathogenic microorganisms will infest. So it happens as an effect, not as a cause, the infestation of microorganism. Now, suppose if we are working on the effect, not on the cause, or ignoring the cause, if we start controlling the effect, what does it mean? It's a waste of energy again. So as a byproduct, the infection goes off when the elimination ends. Elimination is optimally happened within the body. So infection is not the primary thing that is happening. It is an outcome of the disease state. So toxemia is the primary cause, and then the infection may happen. And infection is no wonder that the toxins, if toxins, presence of toxin is there, then to eat that toxin there will be a lot of organisms which will emerge. It may not come from outside, it may actually emerge out of the body itself, within the body itself, because we are made out of microorganisms. So billions of microorganisms are actually constructing this body and deconstructing also, if needed. So are we able to comprehend this, Pooja?
Yes, sir, I am able to. But if the infection comes inside our body, so to remove that infection, at first phase, what action our body takes? Matlab we have to take the action from the
No,
outside or let our body decide.
the concern of infection itself is an imaginary aspect here, because it is not the primary reason of the state of ill health. It is an
Sir, it is not
effect.
the primary, yeah, it is not the primary reason,
Hmm.
but infection has entered. At that moment, what
No,
action body
infection has entered. This itself could be a lie, because infection may emerge within the body. It may not enter from outside. What would you do in
so
that stage?
viruses, bacteria, it emerge in our body. We are not getting it from the outside.
We may get it from outside, but it may emerge from within as well.
O- Okay, sir. So when it emerge in our body, the
Hmm.
body itself take the action, or we have to take the action from the outside.
Body
So
is
first
already
we have to
taking an
cut.
action. As in terms of fever, body has already taken an action. That's a designed action, designed response of the body to take care of the situation already,
Okay.
So what is
without.
the role of the medicine in this case?
There's no role actually. It's a role
So sir,
that
in
is, yeah,
okay. Sir,
that
so
is
in acute
suppressive. Yeah.
fever also, like in malaria, dengue, TB, we should not intervene it from the outside.
Again, that should is a very complicated question. If we intervene, then we end up suppressing the initiative of the body. Now, whether you should or should not, that's your prerogative, and that moment will lead you to do something which is the optimal. So we will not be able to give a prescription that you should or should not. But if we do it, whosoever it may be Kalyan. If Kalyan is also taking a medicine during fever and fever is gone, it is not ended, it is suppressed.
So can we cure it by having some other healing mechanism, diseases like cancer? I mean, the cancer is detected, and so instead of going for radiation and chemotherapy, can we find out the root cause and heal it
Yeah,
in
so
some
in the
way?
next phase, in this session itself, we'll explore
Okay,
the stages of disease, in which the
okay.
a little bit of understanding of cancer is also
Maybe
included.
that will give more clarity, Purvi,
Yes,
to all of us. We
yes,
can wait.
yes.
Yeah, yeah.
So if the heat is handled in a suppressive way, then what happens? It actually converts an acute disease into a chronic disease. An acute disease is necessarily a healing crisis, which actually, in a designed way, in a structured way, initiate a special elimination to eliminate the toxin within the body. And so the accumulated toxins are thrown through the acute disease. Now, any suppressive initiative will end up suppressing the acute condition, but in the bargain, what we end up instructing the body is to retain the toxin within the body. And in this retention, the toxins actually intensifies, and it keeps on creating conflict within the body, because that is unnatural. That retention of toxin is unnatural, that is happening. So instead of having an acute symptom, we lead ourselves to chronic symptoms, which may happen at the physical level, at the physiological level, at the neural level. So depending upon the intensity of the toxin, it actually creates symptoms pertaining to the physical, physiological, and psychological. Now, this particular graph actually depicts the stages of disease. Now, the stages of disease, the first two stages are already explained: the innervation, which is the depletion of energy, and the second stage is the toxemia, which is the accumulation of toxin due to the innervation. Because of the innervation, we run out of energy and we do not optimally eliminate the toxin, and that's how the toxemia takes place. Now let's try and understand this particular graph. The x-axis actually depicts the stages of disease, and y-axis is the engagement of energy, the vitality engagement. So higher the level, higher the engagement of energy. Now these numbers are very indicative number. Don't go for the numbers. So these are just showing that this left side is lesser and right side is higher. Now A, B, C, D, E, F, G are the stages of disease. These green circles are the healing, that special elimination phases, the healing crises rather. And these red arrows are the suppression. Red arrows are the suppression. So how it happens? The innervation comes with the voice of the organism. It's a clear-cut indication. It comes with the tiredness. If we take rest, because tiredness is complemented with the rest. If the rest is obtained, then it doesn't go to the B. It doesn't go to the further C, D, E, F, G. So A is reversed. If we respond as the body indicates, if we do not, if we
Sir, please
suppress.
explain this. Sir, please explain it again.
Yes, if the innervation actually is very much sensed by the body. It's basically a tiredness. It's basically tiredness, and tiredness, what it needs? Rest. The natural response to the tiredness is rest. Now, if we are not resting, then we are leading to the next stage. If we are responding to the tiredness through the rest, then we are not going to the next stage. So as the body indicates, if we respond accordingly, then we do not lead us to the next stage. Now, if we are not listening to our body, then definitely it goes on continuing the innervated state, and that leads to the reduction of the elimination and toxemia, which is B, which is this B. Now, when that B state is there, that time also body will have its own responses. For example, the irritation, which is the C stage, which comes along with the B only, because the experience of toxin universally is irritating. How do you recognize a toxin? Because of the irritation the body experiences. It's a very natural response of the body in the presence of toxin. And that is the reason during the acute phase, we have a lot of discomforts, because the toxins come in contact of the sensory organs and the irritation is experienced. It is a byproduct. That irritation is not definitely the objective of the body to create pain. It's a byproduct of the elimination. It's a byproduct of elimination. Are we able to comprehend this?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So the C is the irritation. C is the irritation. And now in that irritation, we respond to the body accordingly, then it gets reversed. But if we do not respond, if we try and suppress the irritation, so if we suppose have pain and we are taking painkiller, pain actually is an indication of taking rest, so that body effectively work on that. And pain is basically a pressure created by the body to overcome the obstruction in the path of circulation. Now, if we ignore it and if we suppress the very sensation of pain, then it leads to the next stage, which is inflammation. Inflammation basically is confining the toxin in a part of the body where that particular part may get swelled up, inflamed. And that's why this is called inflammation. But we see a tremendous intelligence in this execution of the body. So in that confinement of toxin, the toxin is not allowed to get spread within the body. And that actually leads body to operate in a comfort state. So body is always working towards a comfort state and a betterment of the body. It's not an enemy, but a friend in operation. So that inflammation is also suppressed in many ways. If we suppress inflammation, that leads to a state called ulceration, E. Ulceration basically tearing the skin and throwing the toxins away. Maybe externally, maybe internally also, so that further it is eliminated through different eliminating channels. If it is from the skin, then we may have a lot of skin diseases, so-called. Skin diseases are not the diseases, those are the response of the skin in the presence of toxin. Because skin is the largest eliminating organ. While eliminating the toxin, the skin gets affected. Because the toxin, the experience of toxin is not favorable. It may burn the skin. So it gets healed when it completes the elimination of toxin. So all the skin diseases are reversible. Whenever the body completes the elimination, it gets reversed on its own. There are many cases of psoriasis even, which are normally considered as non-reversible. Those also got reversed. Now, in the ulceration stage also, we started putting ointments because we don't like that wound. And whenever we do these suppressions again, then the body doesn't have any other option but to keep that toxin in a hardened stage, which is the F. These are actually the stonification stage also they call. This is simple, the geography understanding of stone formation. With the years of soil deposition, the soil gets converted into stone. That's the formation of stone we studied in geography. The similar way within the body, the stones get formed when years of accumulation of toxin happens and repeated suppressions are subject to. So that's how the kidney stone, the uterus stone, gallbladder stone, these all things starts happening. Now, during this process also, if we continue the causal enhancement, because it has a history which contributed towards the occurrence of stonification stage. If we continue the same lifestyle choices, then it keeps on enhancing the cause, and the body finally leads itself to the stage of fungation or cancer, which is G, where there is no, so in the hardening stage also there is a confinement of toxin so that the toxins doesn't get spread. But in the fungation stage, actually body starts considering itself as perishable for the universal homeostasis, and the toxins get spread over the body, and the perishment gets preponed and enhanced. So that's how the premature death happens in many cases. So now the beauty here is that these stages are reversible. If there is energy conservation within the body, then in that environment of higher energy, it starts reversing itself in the same order as it happened. So, and it is actually already happening within the body. All the 7 stages are occurring within the body in different places and reversing also. So, though there are cases of no return, point of no return is another fact, but the point of no return occurs in life just once. Rest of the scenarios are reversible, and body keeps on reversing it effectively. So the point of no return happens just once in lifetime, and that's a very good news that way, that it is reversible. All the stages are reversible. Yes, now over to you, all the questions and reflections.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir, you said that all the stages are reversible if there is a conservation of energy within the
Yes,
body.
yes.
So, sir,
Optimum.
how to conserve that, how to get that optimum energy, or how to conserve that
So
energy?
let's change the narrative from how to how this happens. So are you able to find the difference between how to and how this happens?
Yeah, yeah.
When we understand how this happens, after that, what we do, that's definitely individual prerogative, which is very important. Under instruction, we cannot operate optimally. So how to is a list of instruction, that what should we do, these kind of robotic checklist. So if we are aligned with nature, if we are operating in a natural order, then there is a possible effortlessness and optimal conservation of energy. And in the optimal conservation of energy, the body operates optimally as far as the reversal is concerned. Because reversal happens, healing happens inside out. It cannot happen outside in. Outside in, whatever happens is the suppression of symptoms, because we necessarily target as symptoms to go away. And that's actually suppression of symptom. Symptom has got a history, a causal history, which is ignored in the approach of outside in. So with the energy conservation, this reversal is effectively happens. So in the natural order, when we operate in natural order, as human being, till the time we are effectively inquiring, we are operating in the natural order. Tomorrow we'll explore the understanding of inquiry. But if an individual is operating with inquiry optimally, then the optimal conservation happens for that individual. We can actually respond to your question in particular that way. Yes. So any question, any reflection?
Not from my side.
So, sir, when the body reaches the function stage, then also it is reversible.
Yes, yes, yes. There is a point of no return in every cases, but we don't know
But there
what is
is a
that point.
chance also.
Yes, yes. There are chances because the chance is not there in a single state, but
Hmm.
otherwise there are chances only. Yes, Jyoti ma'am.
It's your means everything is on the body level, but what about the psychological level? How
Yes,
it's
psychological level, actually, it's a root cause of manifestation in the body level. Because the
uh,
innervation is attributed to the psychology primarily. Physical innervation is not an innervation. It's the moment you rest, it is reversed very effectively. But when it is happening from the stagnated perception, we are restless. Do you see the connection between the toxemia and the innervation? That's very important. That's how we can connect the mind and body.
sir, can you explain more? Because
Yes.
body level okay, I mean मैं समझ रही हूँ, लेकिन psychological level ये
साइकोलॉजिकल
reversal कैसे
लेवल में
होता
मैम डिजीज जो होता है ना वो बिकॉज ऑफ द एनर्जी डिप्लीशन ही होता है और डिजीज का जो
है?
फॉर्मेशन है वो भी एनर्जी डिप्लेशन के वजह से ही होता है तो साइकोलॉजिकल लेवल में जो हमारा प्रॉब्लम है वो हमें क्या करती है हमारा एनर्जी को डिप्लीट करती है ऊर्जा का खपत करते रहती है और ऊर्जा का खपत होने के वजह से हमारा एलिमिनेशन रुक जाता है एलिमिनेशन कम हो जाता है और बॉडी डिजीज्ड हो जाती है फिजिकली ये कनेक्शन
तो
एस्टेब्लिश
डिसीज
कर
का
पा रहे हैं कि नहीं
main तो डिसीज का मेन रीजन तो अपना साइकोलॉजिकली होता है उसकी वजह से बॉडी वो सिम्टम्स दिखाती है
मेडिसिन मेडिसिन का बात किया आप कैन यू रिपीट द क्वेश्चन क्या बोले आप
नहीं एक्चुअली पहले चीज मतलब बॉडी में जो भी ये डिसीजेस होते हैं उसका मेन रूट क्या साइकोलॉजी से ही शुरू होता है
यस यस जो इनर्वेशन है वो साइकोलॉजी से शुरू होता है और chances of physical innervation theoretically is possible but practically if we see the reasons the factors of innervation for example tomorrow we'll explore those factors input there are 4 inputs that we are subject to what are those radiation the sunlight air water and solid food these 4 things we receive from outside world right are you able to comprehend this now in a natural state the scenarios are different we are mostly outside mostly we would have been staying in open space so there is a compromise that has happened because of the introduction of these houses and 24/7 we are confined in the houses because of the psychological fixation because of the psychological fixation shelters are needed when it is needed but it is not meant for staying confined in this 4 walls all the time so it is a psychological fixation due to which we are compromising ourselves from an open state which we are designed for so that is compromising a lot of quality inputs which we get from the solar radiation. So similarly, any kind of factor, tomorrow we'll explore that. It will it will be narrowed down to the compromise in the elimination because of the energy depletion. And that energy depletion is definitely happening due to the psychological fixation. Why at all we are confined to this houses? Can we
So, sir,
ask this
mental
question?
illness. Yes, so sir, mental illness is due to the psychological toxemia.
No, mental illness, see, ultimately it actually boils down to physical illness only. You know, mental illness leads the individual to have a lot of symptoms that happens within the body. So mental illness is an non-physical aspect that way, but it impacts the energy primarily.
Okay. So, sir, like mental illness, like memory loss, dementia, all these also can be reversed if
Yeah,
we conserve, if there is a conservation of energy.
there is a possibility. Yes, there is a possibility. That cannot be denied. The possibility cannot be denied.
So, sir, in the case of mental illness, how energy can save? How?
Again, in these questions, you know, the underlying disposition is asking for a prescription. Now, if we can inquire together, genuinely, if we inquire together and understand the things for ourselves, without asking for a how means a prescription. When you are saying that how to do that, how this happens is a general question. This is an inquiring
Sir.
question, you know. So let's try and understand how this happens instead of
Yes, sir.
asking
So,
for a prescription.
yeah.
So if one is operating in an inquiring space and not having that P3P2 loop in the life at all, it's a highly energetic state. Are we able to comprehend this one?
Yes, sir.
The primary depletion that happens due to the stagnated, fixated perception. If we start questioning the perception, which looks like a stagnated perception, every time, repeatedly, whenever it is being experienced, then it gets its dynamism. It never brings any sensation. And if we are free from that ideated sensation space, we are in an optimal energetic state. And that optimal state can reverse optimally. Whatever the possible reversal that can happen, that can happen. So tomorrow we'll include this topic, that how the reversal of toxemia can be inquired and understood.
Okay.
Yeah. So we have another session to go today. So in that session, we will converse and bring a lot of questions. Whatever the questions or the points that you may have, we'll take up those. Right. And still we have some time in this particular session. If you have some reflection, please come up. Anything if it is coming up. Otherwise, during the 5-minute reflecting time, I request all of you to bring, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's take Sapna's point, Jyotiji, then we'll come back. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Sapna.
Okay.
Yes,
Kalimji,
Sapna.
when we talk about psychology being the root cause, I will not call it the root cause, but the loop that it played.
Yes.
and that innervates, and that's why the toxemia, because the body is not able to eliminate, the
Yes.
toxemia keeps increasing, and that is like deemed as disease. Okay, so
Yes.
there seems to be a perception here कि psychology or the innovation through psychology is a root cause of disease, right?
Yeah.
Or there are also physical aspects about what we eat and consume that will
Yes.
also
Yes.
deplete the energy and innovate us. So there is a physical, physiological, as well as a psychological aspect to the innovation of body, right?
Yes. So what happens, through the action we execute the things. Through the action we execute the things, be it consuming food or accessing the sunlight or even choosing our water, and the action wise, the movement, the kind of movement that we have in our life. So all these actions do have some disposition at the perceptory level or sensational level. P1 is always sourced either from P3 or from P2.
Right,
Try and
right,
understand.
right.
P1
Yeah,
is
got you.
either sourced by P3 or P2. If it is
Yeah.
sourced from P3, then it is an effortless route. But mostly we are fixated, and that is nothing but P2.
Right.
So if we can explore those fixations, we'll find in all the nature cure protocols. Tomorrow we'll explore all the protocols there, and we'll find the fixation in every factor, every protocols. There are possibilities of getting fixated.